Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock Edition tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to build a very simple and customizable world border that works across all dimensions in your Bedrock Edition world. This world border will help you reduce your world size, which will reduce lag. It will also help you save terrain for future Minecraft updates when they change world generation, and of course it will limit where players can go. So, to give you a quick demonstration, there are two parts to this system. One is an optional warning system. As you can see, if we go across this wool right here, we're going to get a nice optional sound, and then the text at the bottom of the screen as well. And then if we go past this border right here, this is going to be the final place that we can ever actually step. Of course, we can break a couple blocks beyond the border, but that red line right there kind of represents the furthest that the player will ever be able to interact with. If we try and step past this block, we're going to get teleported back to world spawn. However, any players with the mod tag, or whatever tag you choose, will not be affected by the warnings or the actual world border. As you can see, now that I'm tagged as a moderator, I can go wherever I want in the world. Overall, this is a very simple system that uses two small sets of command blocks. The actual world border itself is only 3 command blocks. If you want the warning system, that is another 3 to 4 command blocks, depending on if you want any sound along with your warning message. So you will need access to command blocks in your world, and you will need a ticking area. Unfortunately, that's just all there is to it when it comes to Bedrock Edition world borders. World borders are not an actual feature of the game as of yet. Compared to an add-on, this command system is going to be a lot easier to customize and change the actual border in your Minecraft world, and it's also less likely to break in future updates as well. Like I mentioned in the intro, this system does affect all dimensions, meaning that you only need to build it once, and you only need one ticking area in the overworld. However, it teleports players back to the world spawn in the overworld, so if you're in the end dimension and you exceed the border, then you're going to get teleported back to the overworld. You can also set a custom Y value for this world border system, so that if someone does fall into the void, then they'll actually die in the void instead of being teleported back to world spawn. You can also customize this system to have a vertical world border wherever you like it. So this right here is build height, and I allow players to go a little bit above this with their elytra just by default. It'll start to warn you, and then eventually it will teleport you back to spawn. There's also a much more simple command, but it's a lot more crude as well. So this uses a single command block, and it's a radius minimum command. So if you wanted your world border to be 1,000 blocks out, represented by this green square, you'd have to make your actual world border inside the command be like 1,500. That way the entire circle of your command encases the entire square where you want players to be. This system also only works in a single dimension, so if you have access to commands and a ticking area and you're able to build this command system, then you may as well just build the upgraded system in this video and have an actually fully functional world border. An absolutely huge thank you to Herobrine64 for coming up with and designing this command block system. It is a super good little system. I asked in our Discord server kind of if anyone had any ideas on how to build a system like this. I was nearly there, but Herobrine came up with this one. It's much smaller than what I had, and it just works super well, so thank you so much. And let's hop into the tutorial, shall we? All the commands that you need are down in the description of the video. That way you can easily copy, paste, and edit them. The first thing that you need to do is find a place to actually build with your commands. I would highly recommend having a command room underneath the world, completely surrounded by bedrock. Anyway, this needs to be a chunk-aligned build. That way it can actually be part of a ticking area, of course. When building, make sure that all of your command blocks have the arrows pointing into one another, otherwise your system might not work properly. So we're going to start with the actual world border command itself, and that's going to be going into this purple command block, which is going to be repeating, unconditional, and always active. I'd recommend having this on a 120 or longer delay, that way it's not activating very often. You can customize your world border to be whatever size that you want to. So there are 3 main areas to this command that you need to know. The first two is these first two 4,000s. That is going to be the actual size of your world border. So if you want a 4,000 world border, then that should be 4,000. And yes, these should be negative. Make sure that they are negative. The second one is going to be these 8,000s that you have right here. These need to be 2 times what you actually want your world border to be. So if your world border is 4,000, then you type in 8,000. If it's 1,000, then you type in 2,000. And then the third section of this command is the Y values. The first Y value is -110. That goes all the way down below the void. That way it doesn't teleport players out of the void damage. And then the next one is 500 blocks up in the air. This goes slightly above build height, as I showed earlier. The second command has the highest probability of going wrong, which is why I would recommend testing this all out in a creative world first. If you do this one wrong, then you could get stuck in a teleport loop, which is not a good thing. So what you want this one to be is a chain unconditional always active, and you don't actually need any delay on this one. This command is basically going to be teleporting all players that don't have the inside tag and all players that don't have the mod tag, and this is going to be teleporting them to your world spawn. So simply type in your world spawn coordinates. Whatever you do, make sure that these coordinates are within your actual world border, otherwise it's going to be permanently teleporting players outside your world border. The last command is the simplest, and this is a chain unconditional always active with 0 delay, and this is simply removing the inside tag from all of your players. So this one sees if they're in the safe area, it tags them as safe. This one teleports everyone that is not in your safe zone, and this one removes the tag from everyone so that it can repeat the process. If you just want the world border commands, then congratulations, you are done. However, I would highly recommend installing the warning system as well, as having a warning that you're getting close to the world border is super convenient. So the first command that you need for the warning system is very similar. It's actually pretty much an exact copy of our original command. This command is of course a repeat unconditional always active, and I would recommend having this one on a slightly faster delay, such as 60 ticks. Again, the first set of numbers is where you want your actual warning border to be. I'm making my warning border 20 blocks before the actual world border. So my world border is 4,000, meaning that my warning border is 3,980. Again, it has to be negative. Our second set of numbers is going to be times 2 our warning border. So 3,980 times 2 is 7,960. And then the third set of coordinates is basically the same as the original, but I lowered the Y value from 500 down to 480. That way you know you're about to get teleported up. Make sure there's no additional commas or spaces or anything silly. Our next commands are all going to be chain unconditional always active with 0 delay. Our first one is giving everyone this warning message at their hotbar level, and ours is going to say approaching the border, watch out. You can change the color of this text using the stacked S symbol as demonstrated here, and you can change this message to be whatever you want. Our next command is again going to be chain unconditional always active, and this one is going to play an optional sound at everyone that is outside your warning border. So you can change the sound to be whatever you want. There's a whole list of sounds in Minecraft. You could be really evil and make it like a creeper sound, but I chose the break amethyst block sound as it's kind of a peaceful one. It's not too annoying. This command is fully optional and you don't need to play any sounds, however. The final command is really simple. It's a chain unconditional always active, and this one is just removing the warning tag from all players, resetting the system. If you ever want to churn off the system, then what you do is you start from the end of this chain and you turn every single one of these into an impulse command. If you break this command block while this one is still in chain mode, that could get you stuck in a teleport loop, and that's not a very good one. If you do ever get stuck in a teleport loop, you can always turn off command blocks enabled in your world settings, and that will just disable all commands in your world. Your command room also needs to be in a ticking area as well, that way it works 24/7, so make sure it's all chunk aligned, and then as you're standing in the room, simply run this command right here, and that will add a ticking area at your location. Thanks again to Herobrine for showing me this command block system, and thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then of course let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always trying to help you guys out as best as I possibly can. Otherwise, maybe consider subscribing, that way you don't miss future videos and content on the channel. And if you liked today's video, then maybe leave a like on it as well. Otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.